Welcome to Around the Armstrong Table. Have I got a treat for y'all today? Eggplant Parmesan with a little bit of my own twist. I can't wait to show y'all this one. Enjoy the video. Alright y'all, we're gonna get started with the star of the show. I got some eggplants, and what I did, I sliced them into 1.5 inch thick slices, and I'm just gonna season them up real quick with a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm gonna do that and then put them aside as I get my breading station ready to go. So now that I got the breading, you know the normal suspects when it comes to breading. We're gonna have some flour, some eggs, and some Italian breadcrumbs. I'm going to get some salt in my flour as well as some pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of heavy cream to my eggs as I mix them up. I'm not really going to add any salt to them because there's no need since I have it in all the other components. So just a little bit, about 1/4 of a cup. And now we're going to add a little bit of additional salt to the Italian breadcrumbs. So I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese to it. And I'm going to get those all set up so I can get the mixing going. So once I get the Parmesan incorporated in there, I'll go ahead and whisk my eggs up really quick. And this goes pretty quick. What you want to do is get all your ingredients ready for the eggplant. So that way the next step will be a lot easier as I start to bread the individual pieces of the eggplant. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and get the eggplant in the flour first. Make sure you get that coated real well. And then you want to bring it into the eggs. So I tried to do this with the tongs. I'll be honest with you, normally I do it by hand, but was trying to be a little fancy, so I figured I'd go ahead and get them breaded with the tongs. So this worked out pretty well. What I'll do is go ahead and get the rest of these done, and you guys will see the finished product of the eggplants in just a second. So now that we got the eggplants all done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them actually in the freezer for a couple minutes, just about 30 minutes, and I want to get that coating set up, and I'll get them aside in just a second. So now what we're going to do is start our red sauce with these stacks, okay? That's what I'm calling them. Even though it's eggplant parmesan, like I said, I'm putting my own little twist on this, and you saw in the thumbnail when you see it, going to be some stacks, and I'm gonna tell you, this is going to be an interesting one. A lot of people have never seen this dish, so this is my version. So we got some onions that we're going to add first, some carrots, and I got 2 diced carrots, 1 diced onion. We're going to also add some celery, so a little bit of my holy trinity in there except for the bell pepper, and we're going to mix this up pretty good, and we'll start to add some of our other ingredients. We can get the onions and the carrots and celery cooked down. I'll get some salt and pepper that'll extract some of the moisture out and help to get these ingredients tender. So let's get that started first, and then we're gonna come back with, obviously you guys know my favorite ingredient is garlic. Okay, so we're gonna add about 4 cloves of garlic, okay, and get that in there. So the garlic, you know, that just gives it an additional depth of flavor. So now I got the garlic in there, we can go ahead and add the tomato paste, and what that'll do is that'll help the garlic cook. Some people like to cook the garlic down a little bit before they add the tomato paste. I just cook them all together. The garlic will still get cooked down pretty good, and this will prevent the garlic from burning. So this is a good way to do that without burning the garlic. So let's get that mixed up really good, and we'll get some additional ingredients coming here in just a second. Next I'm going to add some Italian seasoning, and again, you've seen me add this before. There's just a bunch of different ingredients in there that I really like, including oregano, basil, some of the other ones that we marjoram. So just depends on which type of Italian seasoning you get. Again, going with the theme of a little bit of my New Orleans background, we're gonna add some bay leaves. So 2 bay leaves to this red sauce, and we're just gonna get that cooking down. If I was in an Italian household, I know you guys call it gravy, but I grew up in New Orleans, so we can call it tomato sauce or red sauce. So now that I got all of those ingredients in, we'll cook them down for just a second, and we'll add in 1 can of diced tomatoes. And I like diced tomatoes. Um, just the chunkiness of it adds some depth. So then we'll follow that up with some tomato sauce. And I'm using 2 cans of tomato sauce and, like I said, 1 can of the diced tomatoes. And being that this dish is very acidic, I don't put sugar in a whole lot of things, but I am going to add a little bit of sugar to this, really about 1 tablespoon, and that'll help with the acidity. So that'll get that down a little bit, and this is, again, just an added element to the dish. I'll go ahead and add some salt and pepper later to taste, and we'll get this going. So I'm going to put this aside as I get the other ingredients. Alright y'all, it's time to bring in the seafood. Wait, I thought I said eggplant parmesan. Yeah, I did. But again, I gotta add that New Orleans flair to it just a little bit. So just to add something a little different, we're doing eggplant stacks, like I said. So we're gonna add some shrimp. These are jumbo shrimp. And what I'm gonna do is season them up with a little bit of salt and pepper, some Italian seasoning again. So kind of blending Italian with a little bit of Cajun without the spice, if you want to say. And so I'll add that in there. We're also going to bring in some garlic again. So I add more garlic to the shrimp, okay? And that's going to be only about 2 cloves. So I don't need a ton because I'm just using that as kind of a marinade / base as I put the shrimp aside for just a minute. Some smoked paprika, love that one. So I'll get the shrimp all mixed up. And we just want these to be nice and coated. Get all of the seasonings in on every bit of the shrimp. So we'll get that done, and then we're gonna get cooking these shrimp. Okay, so we're gonna cook the shrimp early, and so to do that, I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to a pan. So I'll start that with some butter. Okay, and this is gonna be my version of a seafood cream sauce. Okay, so we'll get the butter in, and then we'll quickly add the shrimp. Okay. The shrimp will get coated with the butter and start to cook down a little bit. As you see, I did set my fire to a medium-low heat. I don't want to burn the shrimp or get them overcooked or anything along those lines. So this is going to go pretty quick. As you know, shrimp cook really, really quick. So I'll get those sauteed. I want to get a nice color on the shrimp. I'll add a few ingredients to the shrimp before I put them aside. So I'm going to use some lemon zest. And lemon zest adds that nice floral lemon flavor without adding the bite of the actual lemon juice, and that's the nice thing about lemon zest that I really like. So you'll see that as I start to coat the shrimp with the lemon zest, and I want to get all those little sprinkles, if you want to call them that, into the pan. So I'll get those going, and then I'll bring in some fresh lemon juice, just a squeeze. I use my open hand to do so to make sure those seeds don't drop in there. We can't have that. So we'll get the lemon juice in there, and the shrimp are looking nice and beautiful. And I'll tell you, I'm getting hungry just looking at these, and I want to eat them just like they are, but I can't do it to myself. So I'll go ahead and get the shrimp aside as I get the other components of this cream sauce put into the dish. So y'all, I'll be right back in a second. Okay. So we got the shrimp put aside. Now we're gonna get this cream sauce started. So I'm gonna add a little bit more butter to the pan, okay? And we just want to get the pan coated with the butter, so I'm gonna swirl that around for just a second. But all of that flavor of the shrimp is still at the bottom of the pan, so that is some good bits. We'll come in with some shallots, and I diced 1 shallot. We'll get that cooking for just a minute, and we just want to get that nice and sauteed. We don't want to caramelize it, we just want to get it translucent, but as you can see with all those brown bits and some of that goodness from the shrimp, they'll get cooked really quickly. So the rest of my garlic that I had earlier that I put into the shrimp, so that's the rest of it. So we'll say that's 4 cloves, maybe a little bit less than that, but that's okay. Again, just gonna add a nice depth of flavor, and it is gonna seem like it's almost like an Alfredo sauce, but it's a little bit different. So I found these in the grocery store and thought I should try them out. So this is a smoked sun-dried tomatoes. I use regular sun-dried, but I felt like with the way this dish was going, that smokiness was going to be good. I'm going to throw in some sherry. You guys have seen me use sherry before. Sherry adds a nice depth of flavor to the Alfredo sauce. Ooh, that got hot. And or the cream sauce, forgive me for saying Alfredo sauce. As this we start to get all of these flavors kind of marrying together and getting happy in the pot together. So now that we got that going, we can't have a cream sauce without adding some cream. So I'm gonna add some heavy cream to this, and we using 1 cup of heavy cream, and I mean that just looks good right there. But of course, you know, we're gonna kick it up a little bit more and continue to get the depth of flavor with this. Okay, so I'll let that incorporate, and then I'll come back and add some Parmesan cheese. We started to get those little bubbles, which is what we want. So I'm gonna grate some Parmesan cheese right there in the pot, and I tell you, when this all comes together, the other ingredients that I got that I'm gonna add to this, I'm telling you, y'all gonna be excited. And again, this is a very, very fun dish to make. There are a lot of components to it, but if you do it, it's a crowd pleaser. And for all my guys out there, if you want to impress your wife, girlfriend, or somebody you're looking to date, make this for them. Even if they don't like eggplant, they can substitute it for something else. I promise you, it's a crowd pleaser. So next, what we want to do, we're going to add the shrimp back to the dish. Okay, so I already cooked the shrimp, so this will go real quick. We don't need to have the shrimp get too rubbery or anything along those lines. So we're going to get those cooked down really fast. And next is a secret ingredient of mine that I've been holding back. So we got some jumbo lump crab meat. Again, this is kind of a Italian meets Louisiana type of dish. Okay, so all of these components, when they're working, they're gonna come together, I promise you. So we can get the shrimp and the crab meat incorporated in the sauce. And what you want to do is this is pretty much on a low heat. There's no need to really crank up the heat or anything like that, because this is pretty much done. So now that we got that going, and like I said, the dish is finished. Anytime you see me adding fresh parsley to something, you already know we're pretty much at the end. So we're gonna take this sauce, just let it cook for just a few more minutes, and then what I'm gonna do is put the sauce aside and bring back the star of the show, which is the eggplant. Okay, so bear with me just a minute, and we'll be back with the eggplant. Now that we're back, we got the eggplant. And so what I did, I took some avocado oil, I put it into a pan, okay, and we're gonna get these seared off. What you want to do is you want to let these cook for a little bit. So I got it on a medium-high heat, and you want to get that nice golden brown color, but you also want to cook the middle of the eggplant. One thing you can do is, once you get the necessary color you want, just to ensure that it's cooked, what you could do is throw this in a 350-degree oven for maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, or if you wanted to, you can actually throw it in your air fryer. So that's a quick way, just to ensure that the center of the eggplant is completely cooked, and that you're not getting that toughness that you can get sometimes with eggplant. But as you can see, these are cooking up really nicely, and they are going to be ready for the next phase of this dish. What I'm going to do is get them set aside, and we're going to come back and we're going to do the assemble of this eggplant parm. All right, let's get this dish assembled. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so excited to put this together for y'all. This is, it's going to be so good. All right, so first what we're going to do is we're going to put the tomato sauce down, okay? We're going to get that on a plate and just basically swirl it around. Again, fellas, you want to impress a young lady, I'm happily married, just saying. So we get the first eggplant down, okay? And once we get that eggplant down, we're going to come back with that cream sauce. So you can take the cream sauce, you put that on top. This is going to be layer, yes, you can call that layer 3 of the stack. You can come back with another eggplant that's fried, okay, that's cooked up, and we're going to put that as the second layer, okay. Then we're going to finish it off with the final layer of the cream sauce. I mean, come on. Y'all can't tell me that don't look good. So we'll take that and we're gonna finish this dish off with some fresh parsley. And I mean, can't go wrong. I mean, that's just right. So I put some fresh Parmesan cheese on top. Again, from my table to your table. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all have a good one.